Hello viewers, welcome back to class. This is Master Builders Online Academy. Don't forget, if you are new in this YouTube channel, please do subscribe to this YouTube channel and ensure that you turn on the notification bell for more exciting videos that will be uploaded here on this channel later on. Now guys, please don't also forget our policy. Now, one of the things that you must do is you avoid every unnecessary distraction. All right. Then also you must pay close attention, avoid distraction. Then so you must ensure that you do not skip any part of this video. Yes, do not skip any part of this video for maximum impact. And as well, don't forget to always replay this video over and over again until it sinks into your mental capacity. Right now, guys, what do I have for you today? In today's class, we are going to be looking at quadratic equation. Yes, we are going to be examining the concept of quadratic equation in this class. Now, guys, don't forget that this class is also going to be in different segments. We're going to have series of video tutorials for this particular topic we are in. But don't also forget that whatever you need, you can always make it known to us. Like this video and share this video to your friends, well-wishers, even your enemies. Yes, I mean your enemies. Now let's get started. On the board we have quadratic equation. Yes, we have quadratic equation. Guys, what is a quadratic equation, or what are quadratic equations? It's very simple. A quadratic equation is an equation that is expressed of the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Yes, these are expressions of quadratic equation where a, b, and c are constants or integers. Yes, they are constants. And also the highest power of x here will not be negative nor fraction. Alright, yes, the power of x, the highest power of x is 2 and is neither negative nor a fraction. Alright, now at this point, a is constant, b is constant, and c is also what? A constant. They are integers among numbers 1, 2, 3 can be positive integer or negative integers. Now get it clear, in quadratic equation, a is not equal to 0. The least value of a is equal to 1. For every quadratic equation, the least value of a, which happens to be the coefficient of the highest power of x, is 1. Now also, if b can be 0, c can also be 0 in any quadratic equation. Now understand that in quadratic equations, please pay attention to this, we have two results, and these two results are called the roots of the equation. Now guys, what are the roots of quadratic equation? Now the roots of quadratic equation are the values that when you substitute in place of x here, they will make this equation to be true. Of course, this is an equation where we have left hand side and a right hand side. And of course, mathematically, we know that in equation, the left hand side always equals to the right hand side. So that is to say that all the expressions that we have at the left hand side is equal to 0 for a value of x. Now, this value to which this equation is true are called the roots of the equation. And understand that for every quadratic equation, you have two roots, two values. So whether b is equal to 0, you will still have the same two roots. Whether c is equal to 0, you will also have the same two roots. Now, how does it come? I can have this is an example of a complete quadratic equation. Then plus 5 equal to 0. Then this is a case where I have c to be equal to 0. Is the quadratic equation. Then this is another case also where I have this equal to 0. This is also a quadratic equation because here you are going to obtain two values. Here also you are going to obtain two values. Here also you will obtain two values. So these are all quadratic equations. But this will not be a quadratic equation if the coefficient of x is equal to 0. And this is when you have linear equation, because when this is equal to 0, automatically you are going to have 5x plus 5 is equal to 0. And this equation is what we call linear equation, where the highest power of x is 1. So, and in this case, you have one value for x. But here, now that the power of x here is 2, you are going to have two roots or two values of x. So, those values that you will substitute into this equation, those two values that when you substitute them into this equation, they will give you 0. They are the roots of this equation. So, for every quadratic equation, have two roots. Yes, when I mean roots, this is roots. Have two roots. A plus or minus A or plus or minus B. Every quadratic equation have two roots, plus or minus A or plus or minus B. The two roots can be positive, positive. They can be negative, negative. The first can be positive while the second is negative, or the first can be negative while the second is positive. This is what you first need to know about quadratic equation. Now, secondly, what are the methods of obtaining these roots of quadratic equation? Guys, there are basically 4 methods of calculating or solving quadratic equation. Methods of solving quadratic equation. Yes, guys. There are basically 4 methods of solving quadratic equation. The first method is what we call the factorization method. Factorization method. The second method is completing the square method. The third method is called the formula method. Then finally, the last but not the least is called the graphical methods. Now guys, these are the basic methods of solving quadratic equation. Now listen carefully. Any of these methods that you use here, you are going to have the same result. If for instance this is a quadratic equation that I'm given, if for instance I'm given 3x squared minus 12x plus 16 equal to 0. Now if I use factorization method to solve this and I obtain my answer to be my x equal to minus 3 and minus 5. If for instance this is the answer I have when I use factorization method. When I use completing method, I'm still going to have this range result. Now if you have different results, that means you are wrong somewhere. Now the same way, if I use formula method to solve this same question, it will also give me the same result that formula method and completing the square method gave me. Then finally, if I also use the graphical method, yes, the graphical method, we are still going to have the same results that we have when we use the first 3 methods. Now guys, get it clear. One of the reasons why you need to know almost all the methods is that there are some examinations you will write and it will be specified the method that you will use. Yes, you can be asked by the examiner to use factorization method. So if you now use any other method, you automatically fail that particular question because you are asked to use formula factorization method. Now you are using formula method. You are totally wrong. So if the marks to that question is 10, you absolutely have 0. Yes, for using another method. So that is the reason why it is good for you to know all the methods. But for OBJ, for instance, if you are dealing with OBJ, you can use the method you know best or the method that you are fast with so that you will be able to meet up with time. Is that correct? But for the sake of pen and paper, guys, the examiner can state the method that you will use. And therefore, if you use any other method different from the one stated in the question, you are 100% wrong. Yes, you get me right? You are 100% wrong. But there is something you need to understand that for every quadratic equation, you remember when we were looking at factorization of quadratic expression, it is not all quadratic equations that are factorizable. You need to know this. Yes. So only quadratic equations that are factorizable can be solved using factorization method. Alright? So it therefore shows that there is a limitation to using factorization method in solving quadratic equation because not all quadratic equations are factorizable. But for every quadratic equation that is factorizable, quadratic factorization method can work it out perfectly. So it therefore shows that for every other 3 methods that we have here, they can solve any form of quadratic equation, whether the one that is factorizable or the one that is not factorizable. Any other 3 methods can solve them except for factorization method. So among these 4 methods of solving quadratic equations, the only one that is limited is the factorization method, which we can only use to solve only quadratic equations that are factorizable, guys. If this is understood, therefore, we can start solving quadratic equation using any of the methods. So we are going to start from method 1, which is factorization method, followed by completing the square method, followed by formula method, and finally we will end it up at the graphical method. Then we will also have a special case where we will pick one question and use the 4 methods to solve one question to verify and validate that any method you use to solve any particular quadratic equation, you are supposed to have the same answer using the different method. So if this is understood, now let's get started. Don't forget, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, do consider subscribing to this YouTube channel and ensure that you turn on the post notification bell for more exciting video. Please don't forget to like this current video you just watch and ensure that you share this video to your friends and your well wishers. Then don't forget also that at the comment section, your comment is very, very important to us. Make your comments there so that we will know areas we need to improve on to be able to serve you better, because we are here to serve you and our service to you is determined by you. Yes, so you can tell us how to serve you better at the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video where we will be looking at quadratic equation by factorization method. Check the description below where you will see the link to the next video. Thank you guys.